Welcome to the NEL Show for 2021. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us this season and in this edition. And I am so happy for the guests that we are having in today's episode. Okay, that is Karika, and there is a lot of things that she has to share with us concerning strength in your singlehood. Okay. All right. Yes, she has a lot of things to share regarding strength in your singlehood, and this is not just a conversation. This is something that would also be a form of liberation to single women, especially in this new decade, because this is 2021. A lot of people are going to be asking a lot of people that are not married yet questions, or putting some sort of pressure or also pressure and just unnecessary stress on such people, making them feel that without being married, they are not achieving much, or are trying to downplay even while they are single. So I will just start the conversation right now, going straight into it with reading Yonreme's profile. She's here. Welcome, Tomisin. Welcome, Grace. Welcome, Titi. Welcome, Titi. And of course, I'm going to be adding Yonreme right now. Read a profile, and of course, it just gets right into it. Okay.
All right, I sent it. Okay, good. Yonreme can. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm okay.
That this is Instagram Live. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes. Okay. Uh,
Really?
yes. Mm.
Okay. Is it
Yes, it's
better now?
better now. It's better now. It's much better now.
Okay. So I was laughing at myself because I said hello everyone, and I realized, oh, this is Instagram Live. So I was laughing at myself because I was supposed to say hello back. I'm like, why can't I say hello for actually
It's such a
Instagram Live? So happy to be
Thank you
here.
so much, Karika. Thank you for choosing to do this. Okay, we'll just go into your profile and then, of course, straight to the questions. Karika Yonreme is a networking and personal branding expert. She has leveraged our Middle East, Europe, and South America to partner with executives, entrepreneurs, and professionals to grow their personal brand. Yonreme has leveraged her skill in stakeholder management, business planning, project management, and leadership to manage key areas of one of the biggest projects in Egypt, worth over $10 billion. She has also educated over 10,000 entrepreneurs and professionals in areas of personal branding and networking. The results have been their personal development, business visibility, and career acceleration. In addition, Yonreme leads the leadership development at the live series with Ibukun Awoshika organization, empowering over 5,000 female professionals and entrepreneurs globally. Furthermore, she's the Vice President, Social Impact Programs at a leading technology company in Africa, where she contributes to the socio-economic development of Africans through strategy and technology. Thank you so much again, Yonreme, for choosing to be here. And of course, there's so much inspiration that you continue to exude. starting from, of course, like starting from your immerse, the Live Away conference, and just the nuggets that you really gave at that conference. Like, it is really, really unforgettable. And I'm so, so happy that you are now going to be sharing, of course, on how single women can find fulfillment and can just really dispense the depth that they have as well. That takes me to my first question, Karika, which is, how do you find fulfillment in your singlehood? Because purpose and fulfillment is one thing that is now, maybe in the last 20 years, it wasn't discussed as much, but right now, in the past 10 years, it's something that is much more discussed, is brought to the limelight, and a lot of people are becoming aware of purpose, even if they don't know it, but at least they're becoming aware. Some single people or some single women may think that it is overflogged and it is just over exaggerated. You cannot really be that fulfilled or fulfill purpose until you're married. So how practically can a single woman find fulfillment in a singlehood, and how does Karika do it? How do you, with so much power and with so much energy and truth as well? Because for those that are really discerning, we can see your authenticity. How do you go about just living your fulfilled life and, of course, living on purpose happily as a single woman?
Fantastic. That's a very fantastic question. And first of all, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can.
If you can hear me,
Yeah,
say yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. So I was saying that one of the reasons why I said yes to this is because I'm tired of seeing women holding themselves back in the name of the marital status. Oh, I'm not married, and because of that, you put your life on hold, right? Because that's not how it's supposed to be. First of all, understand that you're a human being. The very fact that you have air in your nostrils, right, already shows that independent of your marital status.
Oh,
Okay, people can't hear me. You know what? Let me switch my internet.
oh, okay.
Let me.
Oh, okay. Oh, let's see. Uh, can you see my face now? Titi is saying she cannot see my face. Can you see my face now? Okay. Karika is trying to switch our internet, and we would work on.
Okay. Uh, have you been able to do that now? Let's see. Okay, I can see you, Karika. I think you're back. I can see you now. Oh no, I hope we don't have to. Okay. Let me reinvite Karika. Let me invite Karika. Okay. I want to try to reinvite. Yes. Sorry for the network hiccup.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm joining on 2 phones, so I don't even know which is which.
Yes.
Oh, you're joining. Oh, okay. No wonder. So maybe you have to drop with one or yes.
Okay, I think I'm joining on 2 phones, so I don't even know which is which.
Yes. Oh, you're joining. Oh, okay. No wonder. So maybe you have to drop with one.
Okay, can you hear me here?
Yes, I can hear you very
Okay,
well.
fantastic. So let's just continue with this one.
So
So
let's
I was
drop with it.
saying that
Yes.
number one, so I was giving a backstory that one of the reasons why I accepted to do this call, because this year, last year I was very exclusive with my time, and this year even worse, right? But one of the things I have noticed is that a lot of women hold themselves back from doing things, right? Because even married women, right? I say a lot of married women that make, they have all sort of reasons for why they can't do what they want to do, right? So to answer your question, how do I live in purpose? Number one, I understand that I am human, first of all. So it's not even about my marital status, because even if I was married, right, I would still live in purpose. So number one, I understand that I am human. I'm a human being, first of all. The second thing is I understand that I am the value. And what does that
Mm,
mean? I understand that on earth, I am an ambassador, right? And I understand that I have been immersed with a lot of gifts, knowledge, and impact. So why on earth would I hold myself back? So it's not even in the marriage context at all. It's just that understanding that I'm first of all a human being. I'm first of all a representative of God. And then I have so much to do on planet Earth, right? So whether I'm married, single, whatever the situation is, Karika is the value. Karika is an ambassador, right? And that in itself drives my narrative. So it's not really about marriage or no marriage or being single. It's about the person, right? And it's just that understanding that laser focus of who I am and what I have been sent to do that guides me, that helps me to live in purpose, right? And I want everyone to hear, to understand that you are the value. So whether you're married, you have kids, you're waiting on God, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You first, like you are a human being. Before you married your husband, or before you get back to your kids, you were an individual. So understand that that individual has a role to play on this earth. That individual has been gifted with things. That individual has been called for something big, right? So
mm,
understand, see yourself as an individual first before anything else. And that would really help you to go after your dreams. That would really help you to show up for yourself. That would really help you to develop yourself. Okay. So again, you are an
mm,
individual who has been blessed with, who has a mandate upon their lives, right? And who is supposed to fulfill it regardless of your marital status. Thank you.
mm. Thank you. Thank you so much, Karika. I mean, that just makes a lot of sense. So, Karika, how do a lot of women want to move forward or are already even moving forward? So they are doing great in whatever field they find themselves in, business, whatever they find themselves, media, and so on and so forth. But then they seem to be pressured by this African environment that makes them feel like they are not complete, even though they are thriving to do well and to do better. And then for some, they begin to even feel like maybe they are intimidating men, or they are doing too much, or let me just use the word, they are too strong. What do such women need to do? What do they need to change in their mind? And how can they live better and more peacefully? That living fulfilled indeed from the inside, not just pretending to be happy outside or on Instagram, but what can they actually do to rework how they are feeling in their mindsets to be able to live fulfilled and peacefully despite the pressure that we have, especially in the African context?
Fantastic question. First of all, I want everyone to understand, and please tell yourself this, right? That I am enough. Please tell yourself this. Like, I want you to repeat it to yourself. So, tell yourself, Debbie is enough, Eno is enough. Like, literally tell yourself that. And why this is important is because the intangibles control the tangibles. How you see yourself, how you look at yourself, the things you say to yourself affect everything. And why is it important to understand that you are enough? Because life would always, yes, Selassie, you are enough, fantastic. And it's really, really important. Everyone needs to understand this. Dasola is enough. You are enough. It's extremely important because times would come, you know, even beyond marriage, right? Things would come, life would happen to you, right? It's that bulletproof understanding that I am enough in myself, right? It helps you, keeps you going, right? So to answer your question, what do they need to do? Understand that they're enough. And it's a step-by-step process. It's not something that happens in one day. It's that continuous reminder that you are enough, right? You asked a question about what if a lady meets somebody and she's like, oh, am I not doing too much and everything? And I tell people that, see, when I meet somebody or when you meet somebody and you feel like you're doing like you have to tone down, then maybe the person is not for you. I mean, I put something in my when I was talking about this program. I said, who told you that by playing small you meet your husband? Maybe the next question I should even ask you is, what kind of man do you even want to marry in the first place? Because the truth is that marriage is not a day. Marriage is not an event. It's not exactly a destination. It's a continuous process. So when you marry somebody, you're marrying, your dreams are marrying the person. Your possibilities are marrying the person. Your potentials are marrying the person. Your frequency is marrying the person. So it's extremely important. And that's why I said you need to understand that you are enough, because that in itself, and like I said, I'm very big on mindset. I'm very big on coming from the inside out. You know, I would tell, like, those are the things that control everything. So understand that you are enough. Number two is ask yourself, what do you even really want? And what do you really want? And why do you want it? Okay, yes, you want to get married. Fantastic. What's the goal? Is it just to have a ring on your finger, or to make society, you know, tell them that, oh, yeah, miss? Let me tell you the funny thing about society. The same people that come after you and they're saying, oh, she's not married, get married and let your marriage crash. They're the same people that talk about you. So you better learn how to do things for you. You better learn how to do things. And that's why I said that, I mean, I'm Christian and I am in tune with my spirit, right? And that's the only person that has the final validation about anything. I don't really care about what people say. I listen, I have stakeholders, I listen to people, I listen to their feedback, but it does not define me. So it's extremely, and that's why I said you are enough, right? It's important to own your narrative. It's important to understand, what does Karika want? What does Tiana want? What does Temitope want? What does Yemi want, right? And how am I going to get it? You know, so it's really, when you know what you want, when you know who you are, when you understand that you are enough, when you understand that you are the value, trust me, it'll be easy to navigate through these things. And also the continuous reminder of who you are every day. Like, and that's why I tell people your frequency is really important, and who is around your frequency is also very important. The people in my circle are people who understand the importance of time and season, right? They understand time and season. They understand that they understand the importance of owning your narrative. They understand that, you know, you are the value. They understand the importance of having your own personal goals. So already, because I'm surrounded by those kind of people, it's easier to also navigate through that. So the next question is, who is in your circle? Who are your friends? Who is speaking to your mind? What are they saying? Right? Are they people that encourage you on your life's journey? Are they people who really understand the importance of your life and how important your life is? Because I'm telling you, I tell people that I think people play with their lives. Like, I think people really play with their lives. I mean, in the last, say, 18 months, I have spoken to different people who are going through divorce. And let me tell you, divorce can kill you. Because the emotional trauma of it is deadly. Right? It is really, really bad. And then when you have kids involved, it's really bad. So, and that's why I tell people that it's really important, because at the end of the day, it's only you that's going to be inside that marriage. I'm not going to be there with you. The people who are talking about you are not going to be there with you. They're not going to understand, you know, the things you're going through. And even when you start going through good or bad stuff, whatever it is, you know, they will still talk. So again, understand that you are enough and define your narrative. extremely important. So please, and all of these things, these are affirmations that you tell yourself. And I don't just want to say from affirmation's sake alone, right? Let it begin to shift your mindset, how you see yourself, how you show up. This is an Instagram live session. I would always show up ready. Because I mean, I see myself as a queen. So I always show up that way. You know, it affects everything. It's from the inside out. Again, the intangibles control the tangibles. Really, really, really important. Extremely important.
Wow, that of course is Karika. Like, especially the emphasis on the intangible just really creates the tangible. That is just so, so true. Thank you so much, Karika. Moving on to other questions, and these questions that I'm trying to, of course, I'm sharing with you are questions just from interactions with single women and experience with them as well. And these are some of the things that really bother them, and that's why I'm happy that we're able to do this. Another thinking, and the next question that single women have is, what can I do to attract the right man? Of course, the single woman that wants to get married now, not the ones that never want to be married. What can I do to attract the right man? I've gone to church. I've stayed 6 hours after church so that you will notice me. I've done this. Because there's what's wait in church, don't rush. That's a new one now. Sit down there. I've joined dating people have tried to matchmake me. I've done all manner. They are not just noticing me. And for some people, it's not even women that are just somewhere in the backyard, just women out there, maybe in the media, just women quite out there, and they really want to get married, but then they are wondering what is happening. Karika, how can women in that space navigate desire versus desperation?
Okay, fantastic question. I would say that the most important thing for you to attract who you want is to just be. Did you hear that? The most important way, or is to just be. Is to just be. Because when you go from pillar to post, you are literally almost. I mean, I would tell you that most of the time people fall into all manners of error, because when you are desperate, logic disappears, frequency disappears, right? Anything that looks like it might not be it, right? Appeals to you. You make excuses for things that are not for things, the things that are not negotiable for you. You begin to make excuses. So the I would say, in my own experience, and think about this thing, right? I was saying that one of my goals for this year, one of my word for this year is rest. Rest is everything, right? And what I have realized is, have you not seen this thing? Let me give you an analogy. If you're looking for your key, you look for it, you go up and down, look for it, you would not find that key. You are checking everywhere, you would scatter your whole house, you would not find that key. It's when you actually sit down and do something else, maybe you're watching TV, that's when you actually most times find that key. It's the same analogy. Just rest, just be. I would rather say, instead of you looking for the man, develop yourself. Be the person the man wants to be with. Like, do you understand? Like, when guys are talking to me, I'm like, do you know you're talking to? Like, hello, if any man that marries me, see, honey, I am going to be an addition to his life. Like, the level of like, his life is, one thing my mentor told me. She said, see, Karika, anybody that you marry, he doesn't understand how much you're going to change his life forever. Even if, like, let him be the director of the World Bank, it doesn't matter, because of who you are. So I tell women that just be, focus on you. Most times, and I tell people that, who do you even want to marry in the first place? Like, I mean, right from when I was young, I always had the kind of, I mean, I'm not saying everybody's different, but me, I've always been a go-getter. I've always been very, I know what I want and I go after it, right? So right from the very scratch, I had the idea of the kind of marriage I wanted. I knew the kind of qualities of the man that I wanted, right? So, and I'm just like, the older I get, the more I improve myself, because I'm like, I'm not trying to get somebody, because again, I'm already developing, right? There's also, it's like you want to be the next World Bank director. I like using World Bank because that's the thing that comes to my mind. You want to be the next World Bank director, and you're sitting there waiting for the man to meet you. Like, if you want to be the next World Bank director, you obviously want somebody who understands maybe not just the World Bank, but understands the world of business, whose frequency is at a higher level, who will allow you
Yes.
to be. So why are you, if you keep sitting down, the men at this level will most likely not understand and will most likely stifle you from being who you want to be. So again, that's why I said it's really, really important. Just be. Focus on you. Focus on your focus. Keep improving yourself. Like, there's so much to see. One of the things I have noticed, like I said, in the last 18 months, I have talked to at least 12 divorcees, man and woman. And one of the biggest things I have noticed among the trend is that as a woman, it's really important for you to have your own. It's really important for you to have your own. And as anybody, let me tell you something. Human beings are emotional beings. Human beings are attracted to value. Husband, wife, children, whatever. Human beings are attracted to value. So when you are a woman who understands her value, who is bringing value to her husband, and is married to somebody who is level-headed, who fears God, and who has principles for himself, you in his life is an addition. He recognizes your value, and he guides it and he protects it. So it's extremely important. Human beings are attracted to value. Even in marriage, have you not seen men that will not show their wives? Have you not seen men that will not allow their wives follow them out? So why are you playing small? Why are you, putting a cap on yourself until you get married? No, focus on you. Just be. Just be. Just be. Trust me. It would come. You would find it. And like I said, there are dangers in being desperate. When you are desperate, logic goes out of the window. You barely hear. The things that are not negotiable for you becomes negotiable, because at the end of the day, you are too desperate. And again, one more thing, ask yourself, why, as in, marriage is not a destination, it's a journey. The fact that you married today does not mean that your life is going to, like I see people say, oh, Karika, I got married, I woke up and I was expecting, I'm like, you're expecting what? Magic. Like, it's a continuous journey. Do you understand? The ambition and goals you had before marriage will most likely be there after marriage. Maybe your husband can help you increase it, or you help him increase his own, but nothing miraculous would change. So it's really, really important, right? And again, human beings are attracted to value. Relationships, sponsorships, mentorships, marriage, human beings are attracted to value. Please add value to yourself.
Thank you so much, Karika. Because anyways, some people think that they need to pause increasing their knowledge, whether it's relationship, education, or purpose, or even business, because they are trying to fit into a certain standard, whatever the case may be, or they are trying to wait for the man, let them grow together. What is your view on that? Because I once had someone that made a statement a statement around, I'm a bit tired of this personal development thing or whatever. Let me just wait so that we'll do it together. What's your view on that before I take the next question? What's your view on people trying to wait, especially when it comes to maybe relationship, education, and then doing it together with the man, versus you still growing yourself personally?
Very interesting question. One thing, so I really, really like men, and I really think I think like a man. Yes. Let me tell you one thing about men. Men are not waiting for you. Men are not waiting for you. So all of these things that women are like, oh, let me see. A man would not stop his development. Have you seen men saying, oh wow, I'm waiting for my wife, oh, let me stop my development? Never. So, and that's why I said, remember the first question you asked me? I said, see yourself as an individual, not male, not female, not married. See yourself as an individual, somebody who is focused, somebody who has a goal, somebody who has a plan, somebody who has a purpose. When you see yourself as an individual, regardless of gender, you will be focused, right? Men are not waiting for you. Men are not going to say, oh, I'm not yet married, I'm waiting on the Lord for a wife, so I'm not going to develop myself. You are joking. So, and that's why I said that again. When you think about it that way, men are not waiting for you. Men are developing themselves. And men would marry who... See, men are also very selfish. Like, a man is going to go after who he wants. And he's going to go after the one that, he feels would do him really good. And good could be anything. So men like women who are smart. Some men, maybe they like women who will talk up to them. Whatever it is, they will find their own child. But my point is, men are not waiting for you. right? So why do you, like, I like to think of the game of life. I like to think of people. I like to think about it as it, because I'm also very business oriented and very strategic. Think about it like a game of chess. Why are you not trying to be the best in the market? Why not trying to be the one that, like stocks, why not trying to be the one with the highest value? Why not trying to be the one that people cannot do without? Why not trying to be the one that people are aspiring to be? Why do you want to play low for somebody to, and then you give somebody the power to decide if he wants to marry you or not? From the very first day, that marriage is a failure. I'm serious, because it's not two people coming together as one. You have literally given somebody else, you know, the power to define your narrative for you. And you'd always, as in, ask people. I've talked to at least 100 people on this. You would always find that these women feel bad or they resent themselves. So it's really important. And you know, to answer that question, the men are not waiting for you. To answer that question again, like I said, when you think of yourself as an individual, when you think of yourself as a company, Karika International, you always want to be at the, I mean, for me, I always want to be at the high end. I always want to be the one that, you know, people cannot do without. I always want to be the one that once Karika steps into the room, you know, the frequency changes, right? And when you see yourself that way, you understand that, you know, marriage, that is like the second most important decision you would make in your life, because your marriage can make or marry you. Your marriage literally contributes to whether you switch up or you go down, really.
Yes.
Because you are mixing frequencies, you are mixing energies, you are mixing mindsets, you are mixing beliefs, you are mixing backgrounds. It's really important. Sorry, one more analogy. For people who are in finance here, when you think about merger and acquisitions, right? When you think about companies trying to buy other companies, they always look at the pros and cons, right? They always look at the pros and cons. And like, for example, I've been in situations where, you know, I'm helping companies buy other companies, right? And there's some companies that will say, no, this company, by the time we buy them, they're going to make us go down, right? They have too much, their wallet is plenty, like, you know, the things, like, it's plenty. So we'd rather go for another company. We'll check for other companies, right? It's the same thing with marriage. It's the same thing with marriage. Do you understand? It's and that's why I said it's really, really important. See yourself as valuable. See yourself as valuable, so that whoever you marry, you might not necessarily be on the same 100% frequency, but at least, you know, you are equally yoked, right? So it's really, really important.
Wow. I mean, the fact that, honestly, I wasn't really expecting that answer, but it's just the plain truth. Men are not waiting for you. I mean, I'm just going to keep reverberating this all through the year, because finally I have the answer to give to women that I say, okay, I don't want to develop myself, or I'm trying to wait for him, or so we do it together as a family. When you get there, you do that. But right now, of course, you still need to keep growing and keep going. The next question, Karika, so there are people listening to you and listening to this and would also watch a replay right now that are asking, but Karika, I also want to be fire, I want to have energy and all of that, but my parents would not let me. They will not allow me, my mother or my father. For most single women, is their mother especially. It's reminding me of my classmates, my schoolmates, and so on and so forth. How do single women manage that direct parental pressure? Some people even, I know somebody asked me some weeks ago about even moving out. Some people even begin to consider that, but then they are thinking, should I or should I not? What would your advice be for such people?
I would say, for everyone, understand where you are. I tell people that life is in stages and seasons. Understand where you are and always work out the best way for you, right? So let me give you an example. I had a cousin who, you know, the same thing. Her parents were very, you know, on her case. They wanted 1 million control over everything she was doing, right? And she was complaining. I said, see, it's only for a season. You are how old now? 20 years old. Trust me, the max, like the max that you would endure this is maybe 5 years, right? And I said, if you really want to get out of your parents' house, what are the options for you? What are the options for you? Number one, I said you could do things like in your workplace that would make you maybe look for opportunities outside the country, maybe look for a job outside the country. I mean, your parents, they say you should not go because, or maybe go for masters, or maybe actually stay in the house. I mean, get a job, first of all, because if you are home without a job, they would really pressure you, right? Get a job. And when you get a job, there's something called Lagos traffic. You don't have to rush home 1 million like immediately. Do the things you need to do. Maybe if you want to take courses and all of that, right? Do that, right? And then you come home, and when you get home, you greet them, you just them for 30 minutes, and you go and sleep, and then you go back to work, because you really find that you're spending a lot of time at work. So I gave her all of those options, right? And what she eventually did, she actually, because she was younger, what she actually did, she started to spend more time in the office. After work, she developed herself, she come back home, and then that also led to, she got like a transfer outside the country. And by the time she came back to Nigeria, hello, she was abroad living by herself. Like, what do you want to tell her? And then number two, her parents were too proud of her to even her parents were even too proud of her to begin to, it becomes bragging rights. So again, my point is, understand where you are and understand how to work the situation around where you are. Also understanding that life is in times and seasons. It's not going to last forever. Your parents can never have a hold of you forever. So do what, if you think, for example, if you do not have a job, or your parents still pay your bills, you need to be respectful, right? Because, I mean, depending on how your parents are, some parents can say they will not give you money again, right? So understand your situation, understand the things that impact you the most, and find a way to work around it. And then for older people, for people who are older, because I still find ladies in their 30s, in their 40s, who have really strong hold, like, and that really strong. They don't live with their parents, but their parents still have a lot of influence over them. And I said, again, when you understand that you are an individual, when you begin to own your narrative, when you actually begin to live your life for yourself, let me tell you, people will notice. And people would act accordingly. And that's why I tell people that don't have boundaries, that because you have no boundaries, anybody can come and say anything to you. When they understand that you have boundaries, when they understand that if you come and meet Karika for some things, you're going to get fired, right? People would think twice before saying some things to you. So for people who are older, who are struggling with it, because African parenting, trust me, is interesting. There's a lot of conditioning that has been done. But I would say begin to own your narrative. Begin to stand your ground on some things. Begin to say things that you're not comfortable with. It might sound like a broken record for a while, but people will begin to accept it, and they will leave you alone. So really, really important.
Okay. Thank you, Karika. So the other question, the next question is almost similar. There are people that have assignments, and they've chosen to they don't need to be married to take on that assignment. How can they also navigate, or what is your advice for them? They're not planning to get married. So unlike the other group of people who are trying to still get married soon, they do not even want to get married. How do they also navigate, communicating this to the people that love them, and letting them know that, hey, I'm going to be fine single, and I'm also going to be successful, but you need to give me that space, and you need to believe that.
I tell people that the best way to do it, like the best antidote to get people to shut up is through your results. Let me say that again. Results always speak. Results always speak. So I don't like, personally, I tell people that there's no need. You spend too much time, energy, effort explaining yourself to people. And when you also understand that in the African context, when you go and tell your parents that you don't want to get married, trust me, it's going to turn to fasting and prayer for like 1 year on top of your matter. So what I would say, you need wisdom to manage this, depending on the kind of person you are. If you like plenty talk, you can tell them that, oh, I don't want to get married, and then what you do for a whole year is you get married, I'll not get married. That's just waste of your time, your energy, your space. Every day you get what's it called, prayers from your aunts, there's no need for all of that, right? When somebody, if you know, and again, that's up to people, right? If you decide you don't want to get married, right, you don't have to. I mean, your people can ask you, and like, don't worry, we're still waiting, or we will see, right? Like, we're waiting, we've not yet seen the person. Be smart about it and keep doing what you want to do, right? And like I said, your results will speak. When you are rising, you're rising, you are improving, you're impacting the world. See, let me tell you, your parents will find another struggle, and they will just come to terms with that. Okay, this one is this. Yes, see, WhatsApp prayers. They will pray for you very well. There's no need for all of those things. I'm serious. So again, like I said, choose your battles wisely. You don't have to explain yourself to everybody, right? You can tell you. I mean, there's a way to communicate things without opening your whole mouth. You can say things like, "Oh, I'm still waiting. You know, I haven't seen somebody that I'm still waiting, or I haven't seen somebody I want to marry with. But in the meantime, I'm still going after my goals, right?" And then when you go after your goals, please ensure that you put your heart into it. You know, results would speak. And I'm telling you, African parents like bragging rights. African parents like, yes, they still like marriage, Joe, but they also like, is if you're not married and then you're not doing anything that, you know, they might be worried. But when you are succeeding in one area and then you buy them gifts, all those things, you buy them gifts, they like, African parents compete amongst themselves, right? She's not married, but yes, she bought me a car. Do you understand? Like, literally, so results would always speak, and you need wisdom to navigate these things for your own peace of mind.
Thank you so much, Karika. If you have questions, now is the best time to drop it as we begin to round up so that I would take your questions as well, in addition to the rest of the questions I have to ask Karika. So just drop specific questions if you have it right now. Okay, Karika, so some single men have taken things a bit to the extreme. So they want to be single, or they want to get married. They have not seen, or well, they've not met their match, or whatever the case may be, or they are still waiting. But at the same time, they go ahead to try to look for a guy to get them pregnant, all in the name of they want to have someone to take care of, because their timing and their fertility is getting older. The more they grow, of course, the older they get. How do we navigate this particular, I was almost calling it a pandemic, but anyway, situation in the life of single women who want someone to nurture? So what alternatives can these women have, or how can they navigate the honest desire they have of nurturing and taking care of someone, without necessarily going around to just get a guy to get them pregnant because they want to have a baby, because they are scared no man is going to come to them before they are 40, or whatever the case may be?
So I'm someone who works with people across board. You know, I'm someone who I'm very big on, like, I work across cultures, and I've worked across different cultures, right? And
Okay.
I like to think that, you know, at the end of the day, people are different. People have their different beliefs. People have their different I mean, I have my beliefs and that I go with and I believe, right? But one of the things that, for me to do things I do, I look at people as humans, right? Okay, why are they doing this? I mean, I tell people, I encourage people that, see, the best sort of parenting is an active father and mother. You raise a holistic child better that way. Obviously, there are situations where, you know, maybe the husband dies or the woman dies or people get divorced. It's not, because I do psychology, you know, child psychology and all of, and I know that it affects kids, right? So in answering that question, to people who I know who really want to go down that route, you know, I just tell them that, you know, I know you want to do this, but think of the child, think of, you know, think of the child, think of the love, right? Like, most kids who have either an absentee father or mother would always crave that, right? So I tell them that, why would you, you know, consciously do that to a child? But again, it depends on people's decisions. People have different beliefs, people have different faith levels, right? So at the end of the day, I tell people to each their own. One. Number two is, what is your why? And as far as you can authentically answer the why, because your why could be society, your why could be conditioning, your why could be fear, your why could be anything. Do you understand? So what is your why? And, you know, at the end of the day, for me, I'm pretty, like, at the end of the day, you get to live the life you have chosen. Do you understand? And when you also want to go down that path, I say, think of the kids that are involved. So again, people have their different beliefs, people have their different cultural beliefs. People have their different limiting beliefs too, right? I just tell people that ensure that whatever decisions you make, because it's a very dicey situation, regardless of what you do, be sure that you're making the best decision for this child. Because think of it, you are bringing a child to the world. Like, parenting is such a I did a 1 year study on parenting. I don't have kids yet, right? I did 1 year study on parenting. I talked to professors from like different institutions and all of that, right? And parenting is it's such a responsibility. Like, do you understand that somebody's a life has been given to you? Like, by virtue of how you live your life, you condition a child, another human being. I think of people like Hitler. I'm like, Hitler had a mother. Hitler, I don't know if he had a father. I mean, obviously he must have had a father, right? But think of what Hitler did to the world. So when you think of the fact that you have that responsibility for a child, I think people should be a lot more conscious about those kind of decisions, right? Especially in the world that we live in, that there's just so much craziness going up and down. So again, to answer your question, I would say to each his own. And everybody always understand your why, and it's for everything, not just this question. Everything you do, what is your why, and how are you going to live with the consequences of your decisions? Getting married, not getting married, having kids, not having kids, you get to live with it, right?
Yes. Thank you so much, Karika. The next question is similar to this. For women of faith who have a certain belief that they do not want, or they have chosen in line with their belief, that's Christian women now, that they do not want to have children out of wedlock and do not want to have sex outside of marriage, and are very scared. Of course, they are in their maybe late 30s, and they are very scared of what their fertility circle is going to be like, and so they're trying so hard to get married, even though they